This is Reverend Rick McCain.
And Dr. Brenda McCain, and you're listening to Let's Stay Together Talk.
Come on board the McCain train and take a 2-hour ride with us
as we discuss topics like the next stop and making marriage work.
So get your tickets now before the train leaves the station.
Thanks for joining us. Take a seat on our train. You just arrived at Let's Stay Together Talk.
All right. Welcome to the Let's Stay Together show. I'm your host, Reverend Rick McCain. I'm here with my baby, my girl, my boo, my covenant partner of 21 years of marriage, and I'm still loving being married to my baby, my girl, author Brenda McCain. How you doing, baby?
Hey, baby. I still blush when you say that.
Okay, that's what you call true love.
It is true.
Ain't that nice?
The ups, the downs, the good, the bad. It's true love. But thank you, baby, for loving me the way that you do.
I always will.
Okay, then. And I want to introduce to you guys my girl, my boo, my sister, my friend.
You can't
That's
use
for
that.
you, I know. I'm just going to say my home girl, dear, my sweet cup over there. That's Tracy Howard. How you doing, lady?
Hey, Brent. Hey, Rick. How's it going today?
I'm doing good. Raining instead of snow. I'll take rain in Chicago
will take
instead of
the
snow
rain.
anytime, baby.
Yes.
Let me tell you
We will.
something. Rain, as that Christian song says, rain on me. You know, they got a song like, that's not the one you thinking, but, you talking about, the other song.
Rain down on me.
Yeah, rain down on me. There you go.
Franklin.
Yeah, there
That's
you
the
go.
one I'm
Rain down on
thinking.
me. There you go.
Okay. Well, hello out there, listeners. Thank you for joining us this week on the McCain train. Take your seat and get ready for a great show because this is Black History Month, and we're going to have some great shows lined up for you this month.
26, was it 20? Is it 29 days this year or 28?
28, babe.
Okay, but I thought it was leap year.
And you didn't just interrupted me right in the
I'm
middle of me
sorry.
saying what I have to say.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, again, thank you
She
for
done
listening.
lost her mind. Like
There
she
you
done-
go again, babe. Come on, let me
somebody
get through
can't
this.
interrupt her, but
no,
go ahead.
let me get through this because we have a great guest on
Okay,
the
yeah,
line here.
we got a great guest.
But as I was going to say, because I have to stick that tagline there. Tagline up in there. Why you guys are great guests and why our listeners are great listeners? Because to see God's glory, we must share our backstory.
There you go.
And that's what we're going to do. Now, tonight's topic on the McCain train is our legacy. Is our Black history. There's nothing like teaching a child that our Black is beautiful and the legacy of our history in school. There's also nothing wrong with displaying Black love, right, babe?
There you go.
Black love
Say
in
it
our
loud.
marriages, and say it proud. Now, how beautiful is that? Now, joining us tonight on the McCain train for our first hour on the next segment is Kathy Trusty, the creator and director of Black History Ed Zone, an online Black history subscription service for educators teaching grades K through 8. She created this to make it easier for teachers to include Black history in the classroom. So I hope we have her on the line.
Hey, Kathy, you there?
I'm here. Happy to be here.
Hey, how you doing?
Can you hear us, Kathy?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear
we
you now.
Kathy?
You know, I have an echo. I don't know why. Let me get speaker.
I don't know. Some people have an echo when do you get an echo when you're on the internet and on the?
I'm an echo all the time.
Yeah.
That's my maiden name, so
Yeah.
I'm an echoes all the time.
So,
Well,
Kathy,
it's gone.
hope you can hear us. We don't hear the echo here, so you're good. So, Kathy, I've got to ask the question. So, I know 1,000 people out there listen, millions of people out there listen about right now, wanting to know what the heck do we need to have Black history taught in school and something new. I mean, we already know about this. To kind of help explain why that you come up with this new curriculum to help people with African American studies.
Well, the reason I came up with it, I started out doing Black History presentations. I used to live in New Jersey, and I started out doing them there. And then after a while, I started getting calls from people almost every year, and sometimes not even during Black History Month, looking for information. And the information is out there, but teachers are so busy. It's not in the textbook, so you have to actually do the research to find what you want. And, sometimes people just don't want to teach about the same people. As important as Dr. King and Harriet Tubman, and they were incredible. As great as they were, there's just so much out there, but you just have to go find it. So, I like Black history. I like doing research. And I had some presentations already, so I just decided to, create more and make it easy for teachers. So whatever they're teaching, they can just go there and incorporate it into their lesson or the curriculum.
And what is your organization or business called?
It is the BlackHistoryEdZone.com. That is the name of the business, the Black History Ed Zone.
And so how did you come up with that name? Is it because you're trying to educate?
Because I'm trying to educate, and my target audience, even though it's for everyone, my target audience are school teachers. So that's why I called it the Education Zone. So, and as I said, anyone can use the service. It's for all grade levels, even though I specify grades K through 8 on my website. But the facts don't change. The delivery has to change to meet the audience. But I have several activities on there, and those are specific for grades K through 8, and that's why I advertise it that way. But the content is relevant. Like I said, history, it doesn't change. The facts are facts.
And I love the fact that you are a historian person and you love to do research, because I love to do research too. And you just hit a great point when you said we love Martin Luther King, we love Malcolm X, but it was so limited in school that we only knew of like 4 major people, and that's all they wanted us to know. And like today I did a post and I thought about you, Kathy. I said most people celebrate the month and don't even know who created or started Black history.
Right, or why.
Right. So when I gave them a little history, someone actually inboxed me and said, I feel stupid. I did not know that Dr. Carter Woodson started this. And I'm like, well,
he did.
A lot of people didn't know that.
Right, and one of the reasons he started it, when he was in school, I know he got his Ph.D. from Harvard, and I'm not sure if he was working on.
He was the first.
Was he the first? I thought W.E.B. Du Bois might have been, I'm not sure, could have been first. But either way, they were close together, and he was doing. I don't know. Did you come across the fact that he wanted to write? I don't know if it was his master thesis or when he was working on his PhD. He wanted to write it on African Americans and history, on their history, and there was nothing out there.
Right.
So he started the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. It's changed over the year. Probably started with the word Negro in it. I don't know what the older names are, but he started that organization so that he could create journals and things like that to make the information available for people.
Well, I'm going to say this before we move on. If people are interested in knowing about him and some more facts about how everything got started, they could go to the website of Let's Stay Together Talk Show, because I posted so much about him, because I think people need to know why we're celebrating all of this. So go to the website of Let's Stay Together Talk Show, and you will be pleasantly surprised of what you're going to read. Now, another question for you here, and I'm sort of taking over, babe, but another question, what are the do's and don'ts of your curriculum that you use for your program? Because, most people say you can't use this when you teach in Black history in school. You can't use that. What are some of the do's and don'ts that you agree upon?
Well, I don't know that I'm not sure if I really considering it. I look at it. When I started this whole thing, I started looking at different, the Common Core, looking at different things and looking at what people are supposed to teach. And like, for instance, it's not that I know each school and each, depending on the students or whatever, no one wants to offend anyone, so there's certain things you cannot do. But Black history is American history. And I don't know that there's any part of Black history that should not be taught. And maybe you need to teach it a different way depending on your audience. For instance, if you're in certain areas and, depending on the makeup of the students, maybe you don't want to teach a lot of violence or anything like that. It's not violence, but for instance, like with Nat Turner, with his raid and all that, maybe you don't want to encourage kids to do certain things. But I don't really think there's anything that you cannot teach because it's fact, it's history, as long as you're being honest and truthful. And I always say, and don't teach feel-good history. That's not really history.
Yeah.
History is the good and the bad.
So, Kathy, let me ask you this: what did you see that was missing? I mean, I'm a little bit older. You know, back in my day, you know, Black history was, you know, something they kind of skirted over and gave us a little bit of it, and that was it. What did you find out that was missing, and what was one of the most important things that you felt that needed to be added so African Americans going forward would truly understand the history of what we went through?
Well, I don't know that there's any one thing that's missing. I just know that every school teaches, say, the American revolutions. Blacks were involved in the American revolutions. One of the reasons a lot of them, and they were involved on both sides, and one of the reasons they fought for the British side was because they thought if they got involved, even though they didn't have rights and things like that, they thought maybe if they got involved and they helped to win the war, then after it they would have certain freedoms. So when people are teaching like the Civil War or whatever you're teaching, there's nothing out there that blacks have not been involved in. And the reason I created this was so whatever you're teaching, you can include the history of African Americans at the same time. So whatever you're teaching, whatever war you're teaching, just download and include that information. The Tuskegee Airmen should not be a separate topic. It should be taught as you're teaching World War II. And every school you have, that's part of the curriculum. You have to teach World War II, World War I. There are African Americans involved in all of that. All of that should be included as you're teaching.
Did you find it very difficult to get this program into some of the schools where some of the schools, you know, not interested? And what was the process you went through in getting this in some of the, I think you said 8 through 12 or something like that?
Right now it's K through 8.
K through 8.
You know, I went live just a little over a year ago because I had to build up a lot of content for it, so I'm now just reached the marketing stage. So I just contact schools, and I just got an email from someone today wanting to know what do they have to do to get their teachers signed up for this program. So I just keep contacting people. Once in a while I'll offer a trial membership. There's a school in New Jersey. They took one membership. A few months later they came back and got 10. So you know, I'm just pushing it. I'm not trying to push a lot on them. I just want them to see what's out there. And most of the time when they see what's out there, see how valuable it is, they will, you know, get all their teachers involved.
You know, the interesting thing about that is that it should have been that way decades ago. And after I was reading on Dr. Woodson, that the reason he started it was because we wasn't known in the books, in the history, and what you're doing is so great because, like I said, they only gave us a little bit back then. We're going to allow you.
Heck, the Inca Indians had more than we did.
We're going to allow you like 3 or 4 people, and that's it. But like you were saying, the research is so abundant. It's so much out there that we, you know, as African Americans are creative historians. The fact that we're the culture of our nationality, our race, is just so beautiful. But we don't see that. Like you said, you got to show it all from the slavery all the way to the present day.
All the way, absolutely. And even what they are teaching, like there is just so even with Dr. King and someone like Dr. King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, and those people. Even with them, there is so much about them that's not taught. Whenever I look at the letter from the Birmingham jail that Dr. King wrote, that blows my mind. You know, it's just so much you know, about him that's really is not taught. There's so much about Harriet Tubman that's not taught. You know, it's like kids know that she helped free slaves, but they don't know that she went on. She was a scout in the Civil War. She was very much involved in the women's rights during the suffrage movement. They don't get any of that, you know. So even the people that they are including, that part is limited.
And all of our entrepreneurs and creators. You really don't hear about how many things that we did as African Americans to help build America. There's so many things that we done that we don't get the credit for.
And we're still doing things that people don't know about.
Yeah, and thanks to you, they will know. So how does this affect the children? Does it give them a yearning to want to learn more with the programs that's implemented into the curriculum?
I think it does, and that's one of the reasons I really start with grades, the early grades, because by the time they reach high school, I mean, they still need it, but these are young men and women at this point, and they've made up their minds. So I think you need to get them interested when they're very young, and if it's in every grade, they would carry that with them, and they'll continue to be interested in it. You know, they have to start really, really early. And I think they need to learn about, Brenda, I don't know if I sent you my newsletter this week. I thought I put you on my mailing list, but I'm not sure if I did. But in a newsletter that
because I don't think I've received it.
Okay, I will have to do it. I'll resend it tomorrow. But I don't know, have you ever heard of the book, The Pact? It was written by 3 young men from Newark, New Jersey.
I have heard of that.
Yeah, do you know the story behind it?
No, but I have heard of that just recently, too.
Well, maybe you got my newsletter. It was in there. But anyway, it was 3 black boys in Newark, New Jersey. When they were in high school, you know, they lived on, you know, they didn't have, you know, 2-parent family with the car and the picket fence and all of that. So the 3 of them made a pact that they will hang out together, party together, look out for one another, and go to school and all become doctors. And they did that. 2 are now doctors, and 1 is a dentist, and they're practicing physicians. For a long time, they stayed in Newark, New Jersey, but I know they have mentoring programs now, and I was so excited about a year ago when CNN was doing a show. It had something to do, it was in the health field. I don't remember what it was, but one of the guys was the consultant for that particular segment, and I was just so excited. And kids need to learn more about those things, because I think kids today, they don't know what they can be.
Right.
And I think when they hear about people like that, and I highlighted 2 other young women in my newsletter. One is the first female aviator in the Coast Guard, and one is the first helicopter pilot in the Coast Guard. So, and when kids grow up, they need to, as kids are learning, they need to see these kinds of people so they know, like, I have so many options. There's so many things that I can do.
Hey, and one of the things, Kathy, that it does at that young age, it gives them a lot of pride and some confidence in themselves, because when you see someone who looks like you try to emulate them. I mean, that was something that I grew up, not having a lot. That's one of the reasons why I don't look at television now, because there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me, so there was no one to emulate. I emulate my life behind Martin Luther King because of the person that he was. And so for young kids to have that kind of history behind them, it helps them to find pride in themselves and emulate someone and do something that is very positive and good, instead of something where you never see anybody that looks like you and then you do some things that are not good. But I want to ask you this question. Talk to me about the process of getting this program of yours into the schools. If I was a school interested in getting your program into that, what would I have to go through? And explain a little bit about the program and how it operates.
Well, it's a subscription service. So, and the membership is only $14.99 for a full year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Great.
Once you become a member, you have access to all the content on the site. So an individual, all they will have to do is go to my the login page, actually the sign-up page, sign up for the membership, put in their payment, and they have access to everything on the site. Schools, because they're paying for their teachers, most schools, they can just send me I do accept purchase orders. They can send me a purchase order, and with the names of the students that they want, of the teachers, well, even students would be okay, of the people they want to sign up to have access to the information. And I would just it'll be easier in that instance if I set them up, if they're paying for, if one person is paying for a lot of different, a few different people. Just send me the information, and I would just set it all up, and within 24 to 48 hours, depending on the number of people, they will have access to everything on the site. They will have a login, password, login, and they can just get to anything that's on the site.
Okay. Now, where is it that they could contact you at? You have an email address you want to give them or something?
Well, they can go to my website and go to the, I have a contact us page and I have an about page, but the website is just www.blackhistoryedzone.com.
Hey, you know, Kathy, at the price that you're charging, it seems like this should be going to, districts and school districts and going to the state rate to see if you can get this in all schools somewhere, because it is something that's very important that we should have. Like we said before, you don't usually learn that much about your history in school, and it's something that young African-American kids needs to know. So what can someone like the Let's Stay Together show or other non-for-profit organizations, how can they help you get this program out so all of our schools could have this information?
I just spread the word, just spread the word, sign up, give a testimony, just spread the word. And, I think that's the best way. I can email stuff to people, just send it out, and I actually think that word of mouth is the best way because people like what other people are recommending, and I think that's the best way. Just tell everybody.
Okay, I've got to ask this question because I know there's somebody out there. Tell me something, Kathy, about why. Entice me to want to have this program in my school.
You want to because you have a lot of schools have a large segment of their population are not feeling good about themselves. They're not getting information about themselves. They don't know how great their ancestors are. And when kids hear about people who are like them, it will inspire them to do better, to want to do better, and to be like someone that they truly, truly respect. It's part of history. It's part of American history. You're not teaching anything different. Whatever you're teaching is easy to include the information right there. It will excite your students, make them more interested in learning and more interested in going through and finishing their education and more interested in learning and doing their own research.
Yeah, and I'm looking at one of your things right here now on an email that says blackhistoryezone.com is talking about a Thomas Muddy Peterson and
Muddy Peterson, right.
And an Oliver Lewis, and it says they were the first. Do you know who they are? And it's just interesting information that people can find out about people. I know I've never heard of them. And so it's, because they're not teaching this. And we do need to know about so many amazing things that African Americans have contributed to the world.
Right. And, I sent that out. So you guys did get the email. I sent that out, and you can just go to my website. Each month I send out a free download. And those are two people on, that's part of the, this year the free download was a word scramble of Black First. Oliver Lewis, and most people don't know this, was the first winning jockey of the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, wow. The first.
And until I did that, I didn't even know a Black person had run in the Kentucky Derby.
Now, he wasn't the first Black. He was the first.
He was the first winner when he ran to Kentucky. And he wasn't supposed to win. He was put in the stable that he worked for. What?
I said no surprise there, but go ahead.
Wait, right. The stable that, the owner of the horse, he had two horses in the race, and that oftentimes happens now. So he was supposed to set the pace. And when I don't know how many laps they had done, to the point where he realized the person that he was setting the pace for was too far behind, and he was not going to win. And, and he just kept going, and he won. And that's and his trainer was also Black. So there were two African Americans who were very much involved in the first Kentucky Derby. As a matter of fact, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think they might have won 15 of the first 20, it's like some odd number like that. Either 11 of the first 15 or 15 of the first 20 derbies were won by African-American jockeys.
Okay, then. Well, Miss Kathy Trusty, thank you for all of that prominent, great information because you're going to have me reading tonight. But we want to get to know you a little better real quick. Is it okay to play the McCain Express with you?
I'm here.
Okay, well, don't think too hard. You got to say your answers quickly. I'm going to start off with the first 5. Is your favorite sport convertible red or black?
Red.
Were you a teacher's pet or a class clown?
Pet.
You're headed to your best vacation spot. Is it a cruise along the coast or a week at your favorite amusement park?
Ooh.
You're thinking.
Cruise on the coast. I know, a cruise, because neither one fits for cruise.
Okay, you're craving fast food. Chicken, Kentucky Fried, or Popeyes?
Kentucky Fried.
Ew. It's Friday night.
I don't know Popeyes. I don't know.
I know Popeyes.
She is from somewhere else.
She all right by
she
me.
don't know Popeyes. It's Friday night. Are you painting the town or watching your favorite show?
Watching my favorite show.
Hey, Kathy, this is not on the question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Who's your favorite host, Rick or Brenda McCain?
Ooh, it depends on who I'm talking to at the moment.
Good
It
answer.
depends on who I'm talking to.
Right.
Hey, here's the question. Gladys Knight or Aretha Franklin?
Gladys, I'm sorry, Rita.
Hey, that's all right. She's going to still respect you. Is your favorite dress for success, are you wearing spike heels or killer loafers?
Killer loafers.
You're most excited about free tickets to the Super Bowl or World Series? She
World
probably said,
Series.
Okay, she probably, I don't really care about either one of them.
No, I
Peach
don't.
cobbler or chocolate cake?
Chocolate cake.
All right, loving you. You're curled up in a romantic evening by the fire. Is it wood burning or gas?
Wood, yuck, gas.
Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Neither. I'm a dog collector.
Okay.
It's a milestone birthday and there's a big party with all your friends. Did you plan every detail or was it a total surprise?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
It's a milestone birthday and there's a big party with all of your friends. Did you plan every detail or was it a total surprise?
Plan every detail. You know I'm a meeting planner. Plan every detail.
That's right, I remember that. You're a world-famous musician. Are you blowing a horn or playing a guitar?
Blowing the horn.
You get to be a superhero. Are you Superwoman, Catwoman, or Supergirl?
Superwoman.
Okay, then. And we got to know Miss Trusty
Hey,
over
Kathy,
there.
before we let you go, tell us again about the organization and how people can reach you.
It's the www.blackhistoryedzone.com.
All right, Kathy.
And I don't know. I think I'm going to be putting my telephone number on this site.
Okay, so we can
But
definitely they can get in contact with you on our Facebook and our website as well.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being one of our guests. We're going to have her back. There's a lot of information on there.
Yes,
thank you very much
definitely.
for educating us about all that information. And we're going to make sure that this program gets heard of from other organizations around the United States.
Thank you so much. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy.